Hey, what's going on, guys? Troy here, coming to you from downtown Fort Lauderdale today, and I want to get into possibly the most important weight loss subject that I could possibly discuss with you guys, and that is how many calories you should be eating for, healthy and effective weight loss. Now, think about why this is so crucial when it comes to losing weight quickly. If you know how many calories, if you know your resting metabolic rate and you know how many calories, you need to consume just to break even, you'll know exactly how many calories, you need to consume to lose weight quickly. So I want to dive into, how to figure out through these different formulas that these doctors have come up with, your resting metabolic rate, and then how to figure out exactly how many calories you should be consuming based off of, your age, your height, your weight, and your current activity level. So, this is so incredibly powerful because, for instance, there's this popular dieting strategy called If It Fits Your Macros, and it's really popular in the fitness community and the bodybuilding community. That's where I first, heard about it. And essentially, you figure out your BMR, you figure out your caloric baseline through these different formulas that I'm going to dive into in great detail in this video, and then essentially you can eat whatever you want as long as you fall under that calorie baseline. So think about it. If you know exactly how many calories you need to consume to lose weight quickly, you can eat healthy, and then maybe you can indulge in that piece of cheesecake or ice cream, whatever it may be, and you could still lose weight really quickly and effectively. So let me dive into the first part, and that is how to figure out your caloric baseline. Okay, so the first step is you need to figure out, it's called your basal metabolic rate. Now, this is the amount of calories that your body consumes literally when you're not doing anything. So we're gonna factor in, your current physical activity level next, but your basal metabolic rate is how many calories you're consuming just completely sedentary. So we're gonna first get this number to figure out our caloric baseline. So there's obviously two different formulas for, a man and a woman. So let me break down this formula, and then I'll kind of, it's very simple math. As long as you know your height and your height in inches, your weight in pounds, and you know how old you are, you can, very easily figure this out. So let me tell you what the formula is. Okay, so the English BMR formula, if you are a woman, the formula is this: your BMR equals 655 plus 4.35 times your weight in pounds plus 4.7 times your height in inches minus 4.7 times your age in years. So this formula is going to, give you your resting metabolic rate. And like I said, this is the amount of calories you are burning when you are doing absolutely nothing. So for instance, say you're a 5-foot tall woman who is 135 pounds, that's 35 years in age. All you do is you simply put in, those numbers into the English BMR formula for a woman, and you figure out your BMR. So if you're a guy, the formula is a little bit different. Obviously, guys have, different hormones, different caloric needs. So your BMR as a guy is 66 plus 6.23 times your weight in pounds plus 12.7 times your height in inches minus 6.8 times your age in years. So for instance, this, for me personally, I'd go 66 plus, 6.23 times 190. I'm about 190 right now, plus 12.7 times 72 inches. I'm about 6 feet tall, minus 6.8 times 29. I'm 29 years old. So, real easy. You just, put in your height in your height in inches, your weight in pounds, and your age, and you figure out your, basal metabolic rate. And like I said, this is not factoring in your activity level. We're gonna get into that next, because that's gonna be really crucial when you're trying to figure out, your calorie baseline, because it could vary a great amount, depending on if you have a desk job, depending on how many days a week you're working out. There are a lot of different factors that go into it, so that is step 2. Okay, so next up, we have got to factor in our activity level. And this is gonna stay the same for men and women. So, you have the two separate formulas for calculating your BMR, which is your resting metabolic rate. And then you're gonna take that number and you're gonna multiply it by one of these numbers depending on your activity level. So, and this is so crucial because like I said, you're not lying in bed all day. You're burning, additional calories depending on your lifestyle and your activity level. So this is really crucial that you pinpoint this number. So first number is if you're sedentary. Now this is described as, very minimal movement. You probably have a desk job. You probably watch lots of TV. You probably do a lot of reading. You possibly, retired, or you just have a desk job with a very low activity level. You work out, less than 2 times a week. This would be considered sedentary. So your activity factor is going to be 1.4. So for instance, if your BMR is 1,700 calories, you're gonna take 1,700 times 1.4, and that is your baseline calories. That is the amount of calories you need to consume every single day just to maintain your current weight. So sedentary is 1.4. So light activity, you might have an office job, you might be active, you might be walking to lunch. You have some moderate exercise and activity every single day, about 1 hour of moderate exercise. Your activity factor is 1.5. So you're gonna take that BMR multiplied by 1.5. Moderate activities is described as light physical manual labor during the day, plus a slightly more active lifestyle. So maybe you're working out a little bit more, maybe you lift some weights, you do some running, you're gonna have an activity factor of 1.6. And then the last category is very, very active. So, I myself would multiply my BMR by 1.9. This is, full-time athlete, you have a hard physical manual labor job. Even if you have an office job, but say you're lifting weights, 5 times a week, maybe you're doing intense forms of cardio. So if you are doing, intense exercise, you definitely want to multiply by 1.9. So, the 1.9 lifestyle be described as, like I said, manual labor, maybe you're construction, maybe you have a very intense job, and or conjunction with, working out, every single day. Maybe you're in the weight room, 4 or 5 times a week, do some high intensity interval training. This would be considered very active. So like I said, you take your BMR multiplied by 1.9. So this is going to be, the baseline amount of calories. So this is your caloric baseline. So if you consume this amount of calories every single day, you're going to maintain your current weight. That's basically, why this formula is so crucial for, healthy and effective weight loss. Now, how many calories should you consume for, safe and effective weight loss? I do not recommend, as far as like sustainability with weight loss, if you go under, a 500 calorie deficit. Now think about this. It takes 3,500 calories to burn 1 pound of body fat. So, if you're at a 500 calorie deficit every single day, you're gonna burn, 1 pound of fat per week. So this is gonna be, the safe and effective route to losing weight. And this is also really crucial, if you're a guy and you want to lose weight, but you want to, maintain your muscle mass. You want to maintain, all your muscle gains. Say you've been lifting weight throughout the years, but you've also packed on a lot of weight. You don't want to go below 500, because when you start to dip down, you start to, really cut your calories, 1,000, 1,500 under your calorie baseline every single day, you are definitely going to, be losing muscle mass. So the 500 calorie deficit is a really safe and sustainable route when it comes to safe and effective weight loss. So I understand, maybe you have an upcoming wedding, maybe you have a vacation, maybe you're a woman and you don't care about lean muscle mass. You could dip into, the 750 to 1,000 calorie deficits, but, this is not gonna be sustainable, because, as a woman, chances are your BMR isn't gonna be quite as high as, a guy. So, your BMR might be, your basal metabolic rate might be, only, 1,400, then depending on your activity level, you might only be around, 2,000 or 2,100. So, basically, if you're trying to, only eat 1,000 calories a day to get on a 1,000 calorie deficit, this is going to be really, really difficult to sustain. You think about, one piece of a pizza, if you happen to slip and eat a piece of pizza, is going to be 500 calories alone. So you have to be incredibly disciplined and focused to maintain a 1,000 calorie deficit every single day. So I recommend, for safe, healthy, and effective weight loss, something that's long-term and sustainable. Because remember, you don't want to think of this as, this like torture for a month or two and then you go back to your old lifestyle. You want this lifestyle to be sustainable. You want to be healthy and fit. So that's why I recommend to all my clients, to anyone that, I'm teaching to lose weight, to anyone that I'm teaching, the healthiest way to go about it, no more than a 500 calorie deficit every single, day. And then some things that you can do to really speed up the progress is high intensity interval training and intense weight training. So, even if you're a woman, the best thing that you can do to lose weight quickly is, doing sprints, doing high intensity interval training, like going in the gym, doing squats, doing deadlifts. You're not going to get, a bulky, mannish physique. You're going to, what's going to happen to your body is you're going to build some lean muscle mass, you're going to increase your metabolism, and you're going to, rapidly, increase your weight loss. So any amount of lean muscle mass that you put on, it's going to drastically impact your weight loss, because it's going to speed up your metabolism. All of a sudden you're carrying around, more lean mass on your frame, and not to mention it's just incredibly healthy for you to, do some form of resistance training. So, if you want to speed up your progress on top of having that 500 calorie deficit, you know, high intensity interval training and weight training are going to do the trick. So, you know, there's so many other factors that go into weight loss, you know, your metabolism and your, you know, different forms of training that are going to speed up your metabolism. You know, sometimes, you know, even things like drinking a lot of coffee and a lot of green tea are going to speed up that metabolism. So, you know, you're going to find that you probably are going to lose even more weight than 1 pound per week if you're on a 500 calorie deficit, if you're living an active lifestyle, if you're putting the right things in your body, just because there's hormonal benefits associated with all these different things as well. So, you know, let's just spend my little spiel on, you know, how to lose weight quickly, how many calories you should be eating to lose, you know, fast and effective weight. And I want you to always think of this in terms of sustainability. You know, you shouldn't enter a lifestyle that's not sustainable. You should always be thinking about, you know, can I sustain this for 2, 3, 4 months? Is it going to be exciting? Am I going to get bored? So that is how many calories you should be eating for safe and effective weight loss. Signing off from downtown Fort Lauderdale for now. Talk to you guys real soon.